Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a brand new best of one game. It is from the ladder and it is a fairly fun game, I can assure you of that, because it is a Terran versus a Zerg. It is a matchup that I am a fairly big fan of, and it is always good to see more matches from there. So, without further ado, let's introduce these two players. Spawning up in the top left position, we've got the blue Terran player from Team Evil Geniuses. It is ThorZaIN. And his opponent down in the bottom right, the red Zerg, it is Lucky. Now, both of these two are pretty high players. I believe Lucky's also GM. I know ThorZaIN definitely is, so this should be a fairly fun game. And of course, those of you who frequently visit my channel will notice that my little box on the overlay down to the bottom right has changed. There's a new sponsor on there, and I would like to give them a very warm welcome. Of course, Plantronics GameCon are now my new sponsor, so massive shout out to those awesome guys over there. I'm actually using one of their new headsets, the GameCom Commander, and that is why my voice has changed in the last couple of casts I've done, so hopefully you've all noticed that and that it all sounds good. It's a brilliant headset, the sound quality is awesome, so I'm not just saying that, it really is swish. But if you want to support them and you want to be awesome people and help me support them too, then do check out facebook.com/Plantronics Gaming and go give them a like, because that'd be swish. They're cool people, they do lots of esports, which is always swish too. So anyway, back to this game. Lucky, he's going for a 15 hatchery, which is always a good thing to see, because yeah, 15 hatch just means that it's safe against the Terran, you get a good economy going for the gas straight after that as well. Oh, okay, so going to be trying to get out a little earlier Zergling speed, a risk of a slight bit of safety, but nothing too massive, nothing that's going to absolutely be game breaking. I mean, if ThorZaIN was going for, say, a proxy 2 racks, it could be a bit of a problem, but this is ThorZaIN we're talking about, and he doesn't really tend to proxy 2 racks. He tends to just macro up and spoon away at you, slowly picking apart pieces of your army, dropping you, and just slowly dismantling you bit by bit, but never actually going for a head-on assault or really early game pressure. So maybe a little bit of metagaming here by Lucky, just being like, well, it's ThorZaIN, I'll be safe. Now, there is one SCV coming on a very strange little journey. I'm not quite sure where this SCV is going. He's just coming up to check, of course, that there is... Oh no, because it's not force cross spawns. It's the ladder version. So yeah, checking the horizontal spawns first. That is disabled in some of the different matchup versions, but both players just checking those quickly. Now, of course, the other spawn position, vertical spawns, were getting checked here by Lucky, but yeah, ThorZaIN, he's just busy getting double gas up. He's got his command center there already, so a very common opening and nothing really to be too worried about, everything going fairly safely. And meanwhile, over at Lucky's base, well, he's just pumping out the queens, pumping out the speed. Notice he pulled all of the drones out of gas, so that just means that he's now going full economical mode, got the speed out, which is what he really wanted to help him against Reapers, to help him against Hellions if they were coming, but since they're not, he doesn't really have too much to worry about. There probably will be some Hellions coming out soon though, because a factory should be dropped down any second. We see nearly enough gas there for ThorZaIN, so once he gets that down, it's all looking fairly nice. Probably going to chuck down a reactor as soon as he hits 50 gas there too. So very common opening coming down from Mr. Evil Genius's ThorZaIN, but Lucky, he's also going fairly solid. He's getting up to 3 queens, not 4, which is, again, it's a minor difference, but it's something which is worth making note of. A lot of Zerg players do actually go for 4 queens because it's help with that defense, but the reason that Lucky doesn't necessarily need that is because he got speed out so early, which means that he does have better map awareness. We see these Marines were going for a little bit of an adventure and then decided against it once they saw a couple of Zerglings there, and instead of going to hug around that bunker and be like, okay, we're just going to stay back at home, guys, don't go for anything too mad, don't be too crazy, this is ThorZaIN we're playing for, remember, we've just got to sit back and turtle up and macro all the way home. So factory down, starport now on its way. Ooh, very interesting. So this could be just for some drop play, it could be for Hellbat drops. Now that armory is coming down, that's a really big possibility, actually seeing Hellbat drops. So this is something that Lucky does have to be aware of, does have to be careful of. Is going to come and try and take his third base. Interestingly, taking this one over to the left, as opposed to taking this third, which is slightly closer. It's swings and roundabouts. In the cross spawn positions, taking either of these is perfectly viable in my opinion. It doesn't make a massive amount of difference. Both have a side entrance in. Both have rocks covering it, both you can defend the main entrance from the centre ground here, so all in all, I really don't mind. Taking 4 bases though in cross spawns is really easy to do, and something that I'm really expecting Lucky to try and utilise going into the mid game. But meanwhile, ThorZaIN, his armory is nearly finished up. Notice he's not producing any more Hellions from this factory, because he knows the armory is about to finish and wants to get the Hellbats out as quickly as possible. The first 2 Hellions though, they're already coming over here. Gonna just take a little look to see, okay, is there a third up there? He should actually come down and check the other location to make sure there's no third there either, and that is exactly what ThorZaIN is going to be doing here. He's coming in and says, okay, there's the hatchery, that's all good. The queen just pushing forward. We've got the double evolution chamber just coming down to the natural to create a bit of a tighter choke here, meaning that the Hellions can't get in quite as easily, but of course the Hellbats are now on their way. The first medevac is already on the field, and of course the second Hellbat out straight away. So there's the load up. Of course, a third Hellbat rather coming down now. Not double production yet, but that could be coming down soon. Could go for the double drops. It's always something to be a little scared of. But notice that Lucky has got Overlords placed absolutely everywhere around here, just making sure that he's aware of anything that could be coming in. The third would be vulnerable still from this location, but just with, well, there's no drones there, so he doesn't really have to worry too much. He's also busy getting down his Baneling nest, ready to deal with whatever else could be occurring. He's got spore crawlers down, ready for drops that could be coming in. The Overlord is going to see that really quite clearly, that the medevac's coming in, and it's going to get picked up again by one of these two. So no doubt that it's going to get spotted. Queen's already getting pulled there. Creep spread coming over as well into the main base, because this is a really large main. You want to make sure that you've got good vision. But there, with the 3 queens, that medevac turntails and runs away. The Hellions are going to try and do a bit of damage there. Medevac trying to come down the other side too, but I believe it was spotted by the Overlord. But this is still fine, because ThorZaIN, all of this pressure, it's just really to allow him to get down this third CC, allow him to just macro up behind it and really not panic too much. He's got a double engineering base, so he is going to be transitioning out of this Hellbat style play, and we'll just be going into most likely Biomine, which is, as we all know, a really good strategy that works very effectively. So, for the moment, 1 medevac there, 1 medevac there. Third base, nicely defended. Spore Call is down at all the bases by ThorZaIN, which is, as I said, just such a smart move. It means that any drops come in, you can deal with the medevac quicker, prevent the Hellbats from getting away, and just generally get yourself into a pretty nice and safe spot. So I'm really quite happy about everything that I'm seeing occurring for the time being, and I think ThorZaIN should be pretty Lucky should be pretty happy with that too. ThorZaIN maybe not quite as happy, but neither player's really lost anything. 2 Zerglings have died, and that's it, because 2 units dead, 50 resources. But a lot of Banelings are here. This is ThorZaIN gonna try and come in and go for this, but with so many Banelings there, he's just gonna really struggle. He's gonna go for the natural instead, but instant reactions from Lucky means that all of those drones get pulled out of the way. So good, really solid play from the Zerg player at the moment, who's just finishing up Lair. Got, of course, a Spine coming down in the main, as well as the Macro Hatchery, ready to ramp up production. A lot of Queens around, and these medevacs somewhat stuck, actually, because there's Spore Crawlers on one side, Queens on the other, and a Spore Crawler there too. Could just fly straight out the middle, but that could potentially be a little bit risky. But ThorZaIN, he's not too worried. He's just sitting here. He's like, well, I'm going to take my third. Meanwhile, Baneling Speed coming down, Spire coming down, Ling Bling Mutalisk, such a common strategy. All the medevacs have got to be careful. There's Queens everywhere. ThorZaIN, don't run into Queens. Now they're boosting into the natural base, so they're just going to go for it. A lot of Hellbats come down, a lot of Banelings detonate, but don't actually manage to kill the Hellbats outright. The Queen taking some fire, and of course the medevacs are needing to go and heal up those Hellbats. Do need to pick them up as quickly as they can. 3 get away out of the 6 that were there in total, so that wasn't too bad. How many drones did go down though? That's the big question. Only 5. Lucky still up at 63 drones to the 53 SCVs. Got his Spire on the way. Got Overlord speed. Can look to take his 4th relatively quickly, because I believe that he knows about this base. Yeah, so he's seen that. He knows that base is down there, so can look to take 1 base up, and yeah, exactly on cue. Lucky there, taking his 4th. The Hellbats on their way back, though. We can see that actually for the moment there's just pure Marine and Hellbat out on the field. There's no mines. There's not even any mines in production. Just 9 Marines coming out at a time, and more Hellbats. So this is a good solid shove. 1-1 is done. So is Stim. Massive Burrow Baneling hit though. Such a good hit there by Lucky. That was absolutely massive, and that is really going to take all of the wind out of ThorZaIN's sails in that push, and he has got no choice but to wait for reinforcements and try and buy himself a bit more time. But of course, look at this for Lucky now. He has got yet more Mutalisks coming in. I can't believe how good that Burrow Baneling hit was, and now ThorZaIN just being so careful, pulling all of those, well, ThorZaIN, he's just picking off all the creep tumors, scanning everywhere as well, making sure there's no more Burrow Banelings, but my goodness, that was so ridiculously good by Lucky. Such a nice Burrow Baneling placement. This now just means that actually ThorZaIN, he's getting more units out, but he's going to have to deal with the fact that 1-1 is now also done for Lucky, so they're at equal upgrades, and of course the Mutalisks are here. They're going to help pick off more of these medevacs. The Zerglings just trying to chase down, catch a few lone Marines, and with such a Marine-heavy composition, the Banelings are going to be all important. The Hellbats have to try and connect with them as best they can, but the Mutalisks doing a good job against that. In come the Banelings now. Lucky is just getting in himself into a great spot. Great splitting though coming down from ThorZaIN at the moment. There's just so many Banelings, and that means now, of course, the Lucky's Mutalisks are able to come in and really clean up the medevacs, do some nice stuff. The third has only got a single missile turret defending it. That is all. Of course, a scan going off to make sure no burrowed Banelings were sitting there, but Banelings rolling in. A burrowed Baneling goes down, 2 more there. Okay, scan does see them. That is obviously a really important thing, but the Mutalisks now coming in as well. The Banelings unburrowing. ThorZaIN looking to be in quite a lot of trouble. He is dropping at the same time though, so we've got that drop trying to level things out, but already Lucky looking to be in a nice spot. He's got 16 workers off ThorZaIN. He's stopped mining from that third base, and he's currently sitting at 67 drones to just 62. So this is where things start getting really quite cool, because they're both going at each other pretty hard, and ThorZaIN, he's just got to make sure that the Zerg isn't just left to macro up, because already the trades have been relatively good for the Zerg player, losing less resources than ThorZaIN, and whenever you trade cost effectively a Zerg against Terran or Protoss, you're going to be happy with that, but losing a couple of Mutalisks now, that is really not what Lucky needs. He's got to try and utilize this as best as possible. Lots of stims going down. The medevac is going to try and get away, can escape briefly with boost, but once that wears out, the Mutalisks will catch up, so we may see these Marines just unloaded very quickly, but only one manages to get out there before it's taken down. Zerglings just sitting around. Banelings are morphing. Scans coming down once more from ThorZaIN, who is just being absolutely so cautious. He's got to make sure that no burrowed Banelings are sitting around again, and that is why he's being so careful. So this is just a smart move by Lucky anyway. Another benefit of that burrowed Baneling play means that ThorZaIN is now going to be ultra careful. He's going to spend so many scans just trying to make sure that he doesn't flat out die. So that's a smart move by him there, but the Marines, they're pushing back this small group of Zerglings and Banelings. At the same time, a drop coming down by ThorZaIN here, putting on the pressure, but Lucky up to 175 supply of just 150 of ThorZaIN. The Mutalisks, though, they're on their way in here. They're going to try and pick off that medevac, get it down already to very low health. It's boosting away as quickly as it can, but the Mutalisks chasing it at the same time. We've got Marines getting a nice little surround here on the Zerglings. The Mutalisks are able to take out the medevac. Very few losses there, so this drop tech play has been shut down relentlessly by Lucky throughout this game, and ThorZaIN is going to be really frustrated by that. He's moving across the map with a lot of Marines. They do, of course, have the 2-2 upgrades. 3-3 already on the way. 2-2 just finishing up though for Lucky as well, so upgrades are fairly equal as they have been for most of the match at the moment, but Mutalisks coming in for a little bit of counter prodding. There's only a single missile tie there, no Widow Mines or anything along those lines. The Mutalisks do have +1 air weapons, but there's the repair coming down instantly from ThorZaIN. Such good reactions, but just look at how many Speedlings are flooding around. Banelings trying to get some connections, but the Hellbats are going to put an end to that. Reinforcements trying to come around, but Speedlings are going to intercept it. The Mutalisks coming in, the Zerglings coming in. This is exactly what Lucky needs. He snipes off the missile tie very quickly before the repair can come down, because ThorZaIN's attention is down here trying to stop the Banelings rather, but good connections, and Lucky is just on top of everything here. So many SCVs getting taken down, more Banelings be rolling in, more Mutalisks be coming in to pick off reinforcements. Marines get taken out, the bunker gets taken out. Just 2 Marines coming down here from that medevac. But as we can see, the Queen's doing a nice job of defending that. The Zerglings picking up pretty much everything else. The Mutalisks flocking a bit lower, and even a Contaminate coming down on the factory. They're trying to stop more Hellbats coming down, but as we can see, Lucky is just on top of things. He's killed 29 workers this game. He's had 90 drones. There's 42 SCVs of ThorZaIN's. Not even mules can bring you back from that. And still, burrowed Banelings coming down. Such good use of burrowed Banelings. He's like, well, Terran's been screwing my days up with Widow Mines, so I am just going to get a bit of aggression, counterplay with that, and just get some burrowed Banelings. So, of course, burrowed Banelings are always good to watch. Notice as well the Lucky hotkeys. Oh no, he hasn't actually hotkeyed those ones. He's hotkeyed different Banelings, which is always a fun thing to see, but gotta be careful now, ThorZaIN. Detonating 3 burrowed Banelings on this group probably isn't really worth it, but he's just waiting in case anything else comes in. Meanwhile, more Banelings just sitting around everywhere. Got a lot of Speedlings ready to come back into the natural base, but look at this train of Marines coming across the map here by ThorZaIN. He's just trying to be everywhere he can. He's trying to keep the pressure on and keep going. But look at the supply difference, 197 to 133. And the Speedlings are going to make their way into the natural once more. Upgrade-wise, it's 3-3 against 2-2. And this Hellbat is going to be a bit of a pain. A surround coming down there from Lucky. ThorZaIN, he's trying to deal with all of this while still pushing across the map into the third. The Hellbat does die. Reinforcements getting picked off. Banelings detonating pretty relentlessly, but a big group of Banelings there. But Banelings coming in from the side. Nice little flank here, trying to get a couple of Marines, but good splitting from ThorZaIN already. Sees that that's getting shut down. The Hellbat gets taken out. The 4th base is still staying up for the moment, but it's very low. There's the Banelings detonating, and it looks like Lucky's going to hold this off. Meanwhile, Banelings trying to come in here to the 3rd base of ThorZaIN. Action everywhere on the map at the moment. The Mutalisks chasing this down. Of course, there's 19 Mutalisks on the field, and they do have +2 flyer attack, which means they hit fairly hard, especially in this big groups. The Hellbat's going down, the Marines going down, ThorZaIN down to just 104 supply compared to the 183 of Lucky. Lucky is in a really nice spot. Of course, he's used these burrowed Banelings throughout the game very well, just using the Mutalisk to pick off the drops effectively too. And now, the Banelings, are they going to get selected in time? Yes, they do! Massive hit again from these burrowed Banelings. Such great play here from Lucky. And he is now going in. He's really putting on the pressure. He has got so many Mutalisks, and there's just not enough Marines here, especially with the Zerglings supporting the Mutas, to really pick them off. But now with reinforcements coming in from behind, good damage being done. Scans being used everywhere by ThorZaIN just to make sure that he's safe from those burrowed Banelings. And for the moment, at least it seems that he is. But this 4th base of ThorZaIN is not going to be allowed to get secured. More Zerglings running across. We've got Hellbats coming out. We've got +3 vehicle plating being researched here by ThorZaIN too. Both of these players are upgrading like mad. They're both trying to get that little edge they need. Medevacs getting taken out, Marines getting taken out, but more coming in. These Mutalisks have got to be careful. They think they can go for it, and it seems they are able to do it. 3-3 Marines unable to take out these 2-0 Mutas, but more reinforcements coming. The missile turret there. Lucky has to be careful not to overcommit, but the Banelings are keeping all of their attention down here, trying to pick that off. Meanwhile, a drop has managed to pick off the 4th hatchery of Lucky, but he's still got so many Banelings here. He's rolling them straight in towards the 3rd, and the Marines, the SCVs, big hits going down, and lots of damage has now been done here. Has ThorZaIN been depleted of his economy? Not quite. Still 34 SCVs remain, but that is up against, well, it is up against 85 drones, but the 4th base has been taken out. The 5th base is trying to get secured at the same time, and the drop is once more coming in. Only 3 Marines there, though. The drones are going to take a little bit of fire, but with the Mutalisks there, only 3 are not going to be able to engage this, but nonetheless, there are still some Zerglings sitting around here, ready to go in. But here comes the big flood of units. The Banelings getting some really nice connections, and of course, this 3rd base looking to be in a little bit of trouble. In come the Banelings. They're just sitting there, ready. The connections are going to go down. So many workers getting killed here, and still those 3 lone Marines trying to do more damage, but they have now got cleaned up. The Banelings rolling forward. ThorZaIN down to just 64 supply. He tried his best this game, but Lucky, with over 100 supply advantage, is looking to be victorious. ThorZaIN is starved of minerals. He's desperately trying to secure this base again. He needs that mineral income, but Lucky, he just has so many Mutalisks. They are now 2-1 upgraded as well, which means they deal really quite nicely with everything. There's a good number of them as well, 21 on the field. Banelings getting another big hit on quite a few Marines there, and this means the command center taking all of the damage, and the reinforcements haven't even come in yet for Lucky. He's just stayed on Ling Bling Mutalisk for the entire game, and it's worked so well. ThorZaIN, GG, well played, and indeed that was incredibly well played by Lucky, incredibly well played by ThorZaIN as well though. Fantastic match. I'm so glad I cast that, and I'm hoping you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily. And finally, big shout out of course to my sponsor Plantronics GameCon. Just picked them up today, so make sure that you go and like them on Facebook, facebook.com/Plantronics Gaming. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Madals, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now.